back with the Dotted Line Show, another episode. And today we have a really, really interesting topic. And I think, you can just get started on this.
Yes, sir. All right. So, as you guys in the NBA community may well know at this point, Damian Lillard is a Milwaukee Buck officially. So let's unpack the trade here a little bit. It was a 3-team trade. The Bucks received Dame, the Blazers received Drew Holiday and DeAndre Ayton, and Tumani Kamara, who is a rookie, I believe, and 2029 first and second round picks. And the Suns received Nurkic and Grayson Allen, and Nasir Little and Keon Johnson.
Yeah, so they all the Suns got is a granola bar, a half-eaten chip, a fucking one sock, and the Bucks got the fucking Rolls Royce of basketball. Okay.
Basically. Okay, so but the trade doesn't end there. Drew Holiday, I believe 3-4 days after that trade, Drew Holiday was traded to the Celtics and Ayton was traded to the Blazers.
That's right. So Drew Holiday is playing for the Celtics now, who traded Robert Williams to basically pick him up. And obviously a lot of Celtics fans are going to be salty about that. Robert Williams, Mr. Time Lord, he was a great guy. But I think for what the Celtics are trying to do, Drew Holiday was the right choice. I mean, Robert Williams has been injured for many games and he hasn't been giving the value that he's been receiving in terms of money. So for the Celtics, this was purely a financial decision. Obviously, Drew Holiday felt a bit differently about that. He had some things to say. If I believe he was talking about how he wanted to be on with the Bucks until he retired
for life.
man went to take a nap and he's traded. He wakes up from a nap and he's on a different team.
I heard about that. Yeah, his wife posted about that, which is crazy. Like, I understand that it's a business, but I didn't realize it was this bad.
Bro, this guy has been out here with Giannis, sweating blood, sweat, and tears on the court, The loyalest fucking guy ever. He's such a nice guy, too, just based on interviews, seeing him. He's so humble, down to earth. And then this guy gets traded just like that. And it's a cold world we live in.
Okay, so I did have a question, though. So the whole Drew Holiday trade took place because after they traded away Marcus Smart, the question became, Tatum might have to play some point guard this year, right? Which I don't think that's Tatum's natural role. He's like a scorer. So do you think that, which do you think has more drawback? The fact that Robert Williams was traded and now their interior defense is very vulnerable, or the fact that Tatum would have to play a little bit more point guard?
No, they're good. They got Drew Holiday. He can play point guard with Tatum. They got Porzingis now. He's going to be their new center. They are good. They actually have one of the best teams right now in the NBA. They have Porzingis, who's also decent in defense, but also his offense is underrated. They have Tatum, who's a natural scorer, can get a bucket when he needs to. And now they have the defense and size of Drew Holiday, which they needed a bigger guy. Tatum, Brown, they're kind of like a bit more, I don't want to say fragile, but they're smaller guys just based on body weight. And so to have
they're perimeter guys.
Exactly. So now what I would say is they have someone who has almost Draymond Green energy. I could talk shit about Draymond Green all day, but
really? Damn.
I'm not trying to compare Drew Holiday to Draymond Green, but I think they bring like the same kind of value to their team. So I think the Celtics have gotten a great deal from this trade.
Okay. Just to me, it just seemed like if you have doesn't matter who's starting, whether it's Al Horford or Kristaps, but to me it's just they've lost, like, Time Lord was their interior enforcer and they sort of lost that element. So, like, if I'm being really honest, like, now I feel like if Giannis wants to go to the rim, I feel like he has a clear path. If Joel wants to go to the rim, I feel like he has a clear path. So that's what I was talking about. But I do think that the fact that their perimeter defense has gotten better by adding Drew, I feel like that'll make up for some of it. But it's just if you go up against Joel, if you go up against Giannis, which if you're gonna get out of the Eastern Conference, you're gonna have to go through either of these teams. That's what I mean. Like they're gonna have problems.
So I was gonna say, like, agree with you 100%. Like, Giannis, Embiid, they're gonna score like crazy. But the thing is, it's a team game. So even if they're scoring a lot, they could score 50 points, 60 points a night, like historic performance. They'll still lose because the Celtics are a unit. They're a team where every man on that team has the offensive and defensive capabilities. So sure, they can't stop one player, but they'll stop the rest of the roster. And how long in a 7-game series can one man go for losing is cool. But
Okay.
let me pivot on that though. Now Giannis has help. Giannis isn't just by himself now. Before he was by himself, so that's like a different conversation. But now he has Damian Lillard. There is like a 20-minute highlight reel of this guy hitting like game winners from like 40 feet, and he practices that shot. So just think about how open the floor is for Giannis now. He's gonna have such an easy time getting to the basket. Wait, like before, at least offenses would have to close out, on him, and he would have to fight for that bucket. Now, if they close in, and this is one thing Giannis does really well, he's really good at reading people and reading their reaction. The second he sees them close in or shift towards him, he knows instantly who to pass to. He's tall, he can jump, he just takes a step, throws it to Dame. What does Dame do? Tell me.
Shoots it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And if he has a little bit of daylight, he just lets it go, and you leave the possession at that, right? Like it's dangerous now because I'm just gonna come out here and say it. I feel like the Giannis is now being flanked by the second best shooter in the world, and just saying that and thinking about that feels so scary because we've seen like very enigmatic duos before, right? KD and Kyrie were one of them. If you want to talk about like duos that won championships, sure, LeBron and Wade, right? But I've never seen a duo where their play styles complemented each other so well, right? So if you think about like who's the most famous duo in the league right now, the oldest duo, Clay and Steph, right? But both Clay and Steph both are shooters. They both have the same strength. It's just they play off of that strength, right? But where Giannis's weaknesses are, Dame's strengths are, and vice versa. So that just thinking about that is very scary to me. Like I cannot wait to watch the first Bucks game.
And not only are they complementing each other, they're both like extremely good at what they're good at. Giannis is extremely good at getting to the basket, and Dame is like a very consistent shooter. Even if he misses, like Giannis is gonna get the rebound, he's gonna get a layup. So I don't see any team being able to stop these guys in their conference. I think it's gonna be the most boring conference run in the last like 5 years, just based on how dominant they're gonna be.
To be honest, I think the contenders last year, I saw about 4 contenders in the West. Right, this year it's down to 2. Like it's very simple for me. Those are the Bucks and the Celtics. Those are the only 2 contenders. Miami, I think Miami's run was a little bit of like A, luck, and B, the fact that everyone started clicking at the right time. But I feel like this year, especially, they lost Gabe Vincent. I believe they lost Caleb Martin as well. So like, I don't think that's gonna happen again this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a whole season that they have to play. There's the mid-season trade talks that happen as well, so we can't really say for certain. I mean, it's Miami. I'm never gonna not be scared of that organization. They just somehow always find a way to be competitive, and 100% it's gonna be the same story like it was last year, where everyone's gonna underestimate Miami. No one's gonna take them seriously as a contender, and then boom, playoffs come around, and all of a sudden these guys are like a 2 seed. It's like, how the hell did they jump so high? So I agree with you. Miami definitely is gonna have a challenge with the teams that they're going to be facing, but I think their coach, what's his name, the coach at Miami's coach, I forget his name.
Spo.
Yeah, I think
Eric Spoelstra.
Exactly, that guy is a borderline genius, and just by coaching alone, I think he's going to find a way to be a contender. He's going to find some flaw in each team.
I do agree with that. Yeah, definitely. If you can count on one coach sort of like rallying his unit, I think it's Spo in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics, we're just gonna have to wait and see what the Celtics look like on the floor. I'm not sure. I've tried to like imagine it, but it's hard considering like how Marcus Smart fit in there versus how Drew Holiday is gonna fit in there. So we'll see from there. I believe Drew Holiday is a better shooter than Smart, so that helps their spacing a little bit more. And adding Kristaps obviously helps their spacing more as well. So right now we are just gonna have to wait and see what the season looks like, what it looks like at the start of the season. DeAndre Ayton going to the Blazers. I think if we start talking about that, I think it's a good move for Ayton because he never got to like blossom into his own self as a player in Phoenix. I believe he went there. He had like a year or two, and then CP3 came through, and they had to, now they were in contender mode, and then they contended very soon, right? But then that didn't allow for Ayton to grow into a player of his own. And then, that finals against Giannis really hurt his confidence because, he was guarding Giannis, and we all know what happened, right?
Yeah, to put it lightly, he had the time of his life at that series. And I agree with you. Like, Ayton, I think he still has the potential to be a really good player. It's just, like you said, he had to kind of take on like a support player role versus, I guess, becoming whatever, like developing his own play style. He had to develop just a very strict, rigid, let me be a center, let me be a defender role. So I think this trade to the Blazers might be really good for him if he takes the message the right way. But if he takes it the wrong way, it could also be the worst thing that happened to him. We might just forget he exists. So I think it's up to him to decide what kind of player he wants to be.
I think so as well. There was also traction between Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. So I believe this is a good thing for Ayton, as long as, although I do believe that the Trailblazers are now going to be Anthony Simons' team. I don't think they're going to be Ayton's team or whoever is going there. I feel like now it's time for Anthony Simons to make his mistakes, become their franchise guy. And it's a good thing. The Blazers are finally in rebuilding mode. They should have pulled this trigger like 4 years ago, if I'm being honest with you. After what happened in the bubble, where I believe they were gentlemen swept by the Lakers. I feel like that was the year. Like that was the year where the Blazers reached their peak, and they should have traded Dame then, but it's fine. It happened now. I'm glad that he's with Giannis. I'm glad Giannis finally has a quality star next to him. So we shall see.
Yeah, they made all the right decisions, though, at the end of the day. They got the best trade value, I think, because they didn't just get rid of Lillard. They also got a bunch of other players going to the Blazers. So I think the Blazers are going to be looking better now without Dame. Even though it's going to take them some time to develop that chemistry, it was the right move to make, especially for Dame's career, especially for that organization. They were not going anywhere soon. But I want to talk about what the Suns got from this trade. They gave up Ayton, and now look at their squad. They picked up Yusuf Nurkic, they picked up Grayson Allen, they picked up Nasir Little, and they picked up Keon Johnson. Now, looking at those names by themselves, nothing special, nothing crazy, but now you have at least some depth to your squad. Okay, now you have at least someone else that can score, just a 3-point shot in the corner. You got Grayson Allen for that. You got some other guys, Yusuf Nurkic. I haven't really seen their game much, but the point is, before it was just in the Suns, it was just KD and Booker doing all the scoring. At least that's what I saw from the Nuggets versus Suns series, the last playoffs. And I think now they have some more players that can pick up the pace compared to their other support players. Like, who else was on the Suns that was actually decent besides those two guys? Besides
Campaign was decent. McCall was decent, but McCall got traded a while ago. Suns had a very deep roster. They sort of sacrificed that depth for Kevin Durant, which you sacrificed the depth for Kevin Durant. I would say out of all four players, the only one who I'm concerned about is Nurk, because like he's not the same as he was before. Nurk was like a solid, legit center. He was the Blazers' legit center in the late 2010s, but now it's just, I don't know. He's not the same anymore. Age catches up. So we're gonna have to see what the Suns do, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else you want to add to before we end this episode off?
No, man. I just can't wait for the season to start. I believe preseason starts in a couple of days. I think preseason started today, to be honest with you. I think the Mavs had a game with the Wizards or whatever. I'll see if I get a chance to watch some of preseason. Definitely gonna try and watch the Spurs preseason to see if how Wembanyama's looking. Excited for that as well. So yes, everyone
Yes.
prepare for a great season.
Yep, it's an exciting time to be an NBA fan. So look forward to it. We're going to be recording a lot more content. So stick around, subscribe, like, do all that bullshit. And yeah, let's get it.
For sure. We'll see y'all in the next one. Take care and stay blessed.